What do you get when you combine a 4-game losing streak with one of the best players in the NBA, the Washington Wizards, in a marquee matchup on ESPN? You get a monster performance from LeBron James. On a night where LeBron James made history, becoming just the youngest player to score 29,000 points in the NBA, and when he passed Michael Jordan for having the most 10-point games, over 800 10-point games, LeBron James had a phenomenal performance tonight, putting the league on notice that, yes, he still is the king and the MVP candidate in the league tonight. Tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers picked up a big 130-122 win on the road at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. against John Wall and Bradley Beal. But that does not even tell the tale of tonight's epic performance. LeBron James finished tonight with 57 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. The man was phenomenal tonight. The man shot 34 times and set the tone for the Cavaliers tonight, letting it be known that they would not have a 5-game losing streak, something that hasn't happened in LeBron James' career since 2011 when he was a member of the Miami Heat. Tonight, the Cavaliers played big enough to pick up a win. Derrick Rose is back in the lineup for the Cavaliers tonight. He finished the game with 27 points. Jay Crowder was also big for the Cavaliers tonight, finishing the game with 17 points, finishing 4 for 7 from the field, also finishing the game with 5 rebounds. J.R. Smith, who has been inserted back into the starting lineup, did not have a big performance tonight, but LeBron's 57 points picked up for all of that. J.R. Smith finished the game with 3 points tonight, finishing with just 1 shot, making just 1 shot after shooting 3 from the field. LeBron was motivated tonight. He felt like he was not going to let his team down. He said after the game that he's not about losing, and tonight was the stage to do that. Check out what LeBron had to say after the game.
So, LeBron, you come on the road riding a 4-game losing streak. You're undermanned. A very happy Isaiah Thomas. 4-game losing streak on the road, undermanned, yet another lineup change. What's the most gratifying aspect of this win?
Even when Washington made their run, we were still able to keep our composure, execute. And throughout the 4-game losing streak, every time a team made a run, we just lost composure. We lost the lead. We turned the ball over. We couldn't get back in transition. And everything that we kind of talked about over the last few days. Transition defense, no turnovers, attacking. And that's what everything that we did tonight. And this is a huge win for us right now, going on, throughout the losing streak that we just had.
You said this morning that you would fix this. What were your intentions when you stepped between the lines?
Well, I told my teammates I'm finally getting back into game shape. When I can play a full half and only really get tired once or twice throughout a whole half, I know I'm getting back in playing shape, and it feels good. It feels good to know that I'm almost getting back to my regular self after being out all preseason. So it has to be me. It starts with me. In order to right this ship right now, it starts with me. So I had to come out and prove it, too. Can't just talk about it.
Your greatness will extend far beyond scoring, but tonight you passed Kobe Bryant as the youngest to get to 29,000. You also joined Michael Jordan as only the 2nd guy to have 800 consecutive games of double digits. As your career unfolds, to join those names means what?
Doris, I'm a historian of the game. And you know how much Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan meant to me throughout my childhood, and seeing what they was able to accomplish. Even when I was in grade school, through high school, I idolized those guys. For one, Mike gave me a vision. He was like my superhero growing up. He gave me a vision that I could get out the inner city. And then Kobe Bryant was a pioneer, one of those first few guys that come out of high school and actually make it possible. So anytime I'm in the breath, in the same sentence as Kobe and Mike, and even some of the rest of the greats, it's just very humbling just to know where I come from.
You could hear sort of Jeff Van Gundy marveling on our telecast tonight about the fact that you continue to get better. Why?
I don't want to give myself a ceiling. I don't want to cap myself. I told myself I'm going to work extremely hard on my post game, and I'm going to work extremely hard.
Big night all across the NBA tonight. LeBron James was not the only player tonight putting up big numbers and making history across the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers, for the first time in over 6 years, that's right, in over 6 years, are plus 500. Tonight, they finished after a final of 121-110, beating the Indiana Pacers with a record of 5-4, something the Philadelphia 76ers haven't had in years. And it seems like the 1-2 punch of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid is going to be the future in South Philadelphia. Tonight, Ben Simmons made history, as I mentioned. LeBron James, it took him over 20 games to reach his second triple-double in his career. Michael Jordan, it took him over 58 games to get his second triple-double in his career. In under 9 games, Ben Simmons now has his second triple-double on the year. The young kid just continues to amaze at the point guard position. In 38 minutes tonight, Ben Simmons finished the game with 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. The Sixers are currently on a 4-game winning streak, and a lot of that has been led because of the play of young Big Simmons. Also for the Philadelphia 76ers, don't be surprised now, Philly fans, J.J. Redick has finally hit the board. J.J. Redick, cats have been asking, where is he? They got out the milk carton flyers and been looking. J.J. Redick's been missing since signing his big deal in Philadelphia, becoming a member of the Sixers in free agency during the offseason. But tonight, J.J. Redick had his best game yet as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers, finishing the game with 31 points, including a clutch three-point basket, 1 under 2 minutes left in the game against the Pacers to help the Sixers expand their lead. J.J. Redick shot 11 for 19 from the field tonight, letting it be known that he is here to play. Joel Embiid also played pretty well for the Sixers tonight as well. Now, his last game, we saw him play 30 minutes, the most he's played throughout his career to date. He's been saying that he wants to be on the court more to help his team pick up victories early in the season. A lot of the 76ers brass and their Coach Brown, was talking about possibly keeping Embiid's minutes in the early teens, 13 to 15 minutes a night. Embiid was extremely vocal, saying that he wants to be out on the floor. This is the best he's felt in years, and he felt like he was able to get the job done. Tonight, his performance proved that with 18 points and 9 rebounds. So the Sixers are looking pretty good tonight. As I mentioned, they're on a 4-game winning streak, and it could be 5 games to be quite honest with you. They suffered a tough loss to James Harden and the Houston Rockets earlier in the week on a clutch 3-point play by Eric Gordon. Bad defense, something that the young Sixers will be able to learn from. But they're looking pretty good, and I'll be interested to see what happens as they move along. Big night once again, though, however, from Ben Simmons, 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. His second triple-double in a young year, and it's looking like he's putting his name in the hat to be the 2017-18 Rookie of the Year. In the Midwest tonight, it was a big Midwest battle between a surprise team so far in this early season, the Detroit Pistons, who now stand at a record of 6-3. They took on possible MVP candidate Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Milwaukee's been sliding as of lately. They started the season pretty well, but they now have a record of 4-5 after losing to the Pistons tonight, 105-96. Now, for the Bucks, we'll start off with the losing team. Giannis continues to perform, but it appears that teams have found the formulas on how to defend them. Yet, it's the early LeBron thing. You let LeBron go to the hole, do what he wants, and shut down everybody else. It seems like that's the same type of problems that the Greek Freak is going to face as well. Tonight, once again, he finished with over 24 points, finishing the game with 29 points, shooting 13 from 27 for the field, just 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Those numbers are down. Giannis was one of 2 players averaging over 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists a night. So we see that his rebounding total was down severely tonight. It was a big night, though, for Bucks' second-year man, former Rookie of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon finished the game with 21 points, going 8 for 13 from the field, and he also finished the game in double digits with assists, finishing the game with 10 assists. Chris Middleton, who earlier this season had his biggest game of the year, biggest game of his career, finished tonight with a pretty mediocre night, I would say, for the sharpshooter. Just 16 points, going 1 for 4 from the three-point land, something that he's become almost an assassin that Chris Middleton is building his name up as one of the most deadliest sharpshooters in the NBA, but tonight he did not have a big performance. The story of the night was Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond continues to improve from the foul line. From the foul line. Andre Drummond's been a great talent since coming out of UConn, but the big man just has not seemed to be able to get it done from the foul line. Cats have almost implied the hack-a-sack formula with him late in games, but when he's effective at the basket in the paint, when he's getting rebounds, it's hard to stop him. And now that he's making foul shots, that's even better. Now, throughout his career, his free throw percentage is 38. He's shooting 38% from the free throw line throughout his career, but so far this season, he is shooting 78%. He's shooting 78%, so that's a large increase, and that has a lot to do with why the Detroit Pistons are looking good and they've been winning games this year. Newly acquired defensive wingman Avery Bradley, also had a big night. 23 points on tonight, having just 2 turnovers and 3 assists. Avery Bradley continues to be a floor general out there for the young Pistons. And Reggie Jackson, a player whose name has been in a lot of trade talks, as the Pistons have let it be known that they're interested in the point guard services of Eric Bledsoe. Reggie Jackson's name's been in the mix a lot for a possible trade. I don't know if he wants to leave or if there's just someone that other teams are looking to acquire. But it was a good night for Mr. Reggie Jackson. He finished the night with just 9 points, but he shot the ball well for the field and also finished the game with 8 assists. So if he can keep continuing to do that on the court, maybe the Pistons will not let him go. Another game that we're going to just speak on very quickly in the NBA that took place, the Chicago Bulls picked up their second win on the young season, moving on to a record of 2-5, beating the surprise Orlando Magic, who were home tonight. The Bulls were on the road. The Bulls picked up a win 105-83. 105-83. We've seen the young Orlando Magic already get wins this season over the Cleveland Cavaliers and the San Antonio Spurs, and many experts believe that this may be the year for the Magic to prove that they can make some noise in the East. Not come out of the East or do anything crazy like that, but make some noise in the East. So we'll see what happens there. We're going to check out a few top plays that took place last night across the NBA, some plays that took place November 2nd. Then we'll be right back here at the desk to talk about the Atlanta Hawks and the Houston Rockets.
It is the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we are going to San Antonio. KD with the L crossover. Gets to the cup, and one thing he could do is finger roll in the basket. Yes, sir. Moving on to number 4. Modia Center. Dame Lillard. Pick and roll. Yusef Nurkic. Fancy with it. That is how you run a screen and roll. Nicely done, big man. Moving on to number 3, back to San Antonio, the pride of Seagoville High, and the Longhorn, LaMarcus Aldridge. With the fadeaway getting bodied up with Draymond Green, it's not enough as he knocks down the fadeaway. And one. Dap me up one time, homie. Yep. Number 2, who could it be? Who could it be? It's the one and only Danny Green. Get big. So you want to show everybody he's been working out. He's been on them weights, baby. Yes, sir. And the number 1, you know exactly what time it is. Dame Dollar. Big game Dame. For game. Splash. Damian Lillard knocks down the shot. Sends the Blazers home victorious. Yes, Dame time, baby. And that's your top 5.
We are back. Sideline stories. That was just a few plays that took place last night across the NBA. It was a good night in the league last night as the Golden State Warriors took on the San Antonio Spurs. Then in late action, we got to see the LA Lakers in a big-time game against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers. It was a pretty dope matchup. Tonight, though, the story at Phillips Arena was our Atlanta Hawks back in action. Now they'll be in action a lot over the next few days. We'll talk about that briefly. But tonight, the Beard, James Harden, and the Houston Rockets came into town. They came into town without Chris Paul. Chris Paul is he's currently hurt. He hasn't been, I believe he's played 2 games so far on this young season with the Houston Rockets. He still was in the building. He was on the bench. He was on the bench giving his team encouragement, giving them pointers on the sideline, almost like an assistant coach or a second coach out there. But the Rockets picked up a big win tonight, 119-104. The Rockets picked up a big win tonight in Atlanta, 119-104. Now, the story of tonight for the Houston Rockets actually was shooting, and it was their three-point shoot, and they continue to shoot very well from the three-point line. Tonight, it was 34%, but it was more than the Hawks, who shot 33.3% from the field. The Houston Rockets came out the gates firing early, and that was led by Houston Rockets star James Harden. James Harden had a very, very, very productive night tonight. He shot 8 for 15 tonight, finishing the game with 29 points and 11 assists. He He was also 7 for 10 from the free throw line and 6 from 11 from 3. He pulled up several times tonight over Kent Bazemore, Dwayne Dedmon, just setting the tone and making sure whenever the Atlanta Hawks were able to make a small run that the Rockets were able to keep command and continue to control the pace. Following tonight's game, James Harden had this to say about the play of the Hawks and the play of the Rockets so far this season.
Was it ironing out some of the stuff you talked about before you left?
Good 2 games for us, but it's not going to just be 2 games or 10 games. It's going to be an entire season to get to where we want to go. So it's a good win for us. We're building on both ends of the floor, and just got to continue to get better. It's going to be some ups and some downs throughout the entire season, but as long as we can stay at even kill, we'll be all right.
The start tonight, how important was that to kind of play like you guys want to in the first quarter?
Yeah, we got to get up to better starts. First 10 games, we've been getting off to really slow starts, and so kind of having to play catch up or battle uphill from the rest of the 3 quarters. So we got to do a better job of starting the games well, defensively, offensively, still taking our shots and doing what we do.
James, you had a big first half. What were you seeing out there? How was the Hawks defense playing you in that first half?
Just being aggressive, making the right play, and trying to do whatever it takes, whether it's scoring, passing, or getting to the basket and making the right decision. So just trying to have that attack mode and being aggressive and make a right play.
How did you feel about the way you guys adjusted when they started trapping you in the first quarter?
It was good. I tried to get the ball to the big, and Nene and Clint did a really good job of getting off the ball, getting some easy layups and threes. So you see different defenses, and you just try to find ways to be aggressive and attack them. So they gave us a little trap. They played back a little bit. They switched a little bit. So find the best way and get a good shot every time.
Were you aware that the Rockets haven't won in Atlanta for a while? I don't know, maybe since you've been here.
We won since I've been here. What's a while?
4 straight years we lost here.
It's not a loss. That season, 15, 20 years, 4 years. Same thing.
So as you see, James Harden seemed pretty poised, but wanted to stay humble, remain humble, because the season is still very young. He realized although the Rockets have had some very key victories so far this season, a lot can still happen this season, that players are still beginning to gel. There are a lot of new pieces on a lot of different teams across the league. So he wanted to stay focused, but he did appreciate the effort and the tenacity that his team came out and played with tonight. Trevor Ariza, wingman for the Houston Rockets, was effective tonight on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. He shot 5 for 11 tonight, just 2 for 8 from three-point line, finishing the game with 12 points. Ryan Anderson, a gentleman whose name was in trade talks all offseason, possibly sending him to the New York Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. He's currently sitting with 2 years left on his deal for over $60 million, so teams are kind of afraid to touch that contract. He's making over $30 million a year, but he was a sharpshooter tonight, finishing the game 4 for 9. He also was effective from behind the three-point line, going 3 for 8, finishing the game with 11 points. Clint Capella has become a defensive force inside the paint for the Houston Rockets. Tonight, he was 5 for 9, finishing the game with 12 points. And Eric Gordon, the former sixth man of the year, continues to improve. Now, last year and throughout his career at Indiana, he was known as a sharpshooter, known for his range and versatility beyond the three-point line. But so far this year, he's becoming a thrasher/slasher. He's been going to the bucket aggressively with force and with effort. And tonight, he had a big play dunking on several of the Atlanta Hawks. Following the game, he spoke on tonight's victory and what he's seeing on the court this season after winning the Sixth Man of the Year award last year.
Scored a bunch of them. What were you seeing that led to all those shots going at the rim and in the paint?
Well, they made a good run, and because they was working hard, they was out working us for a short period of time, and we just started playing together. We moved the ball, played fast, and played really good defense to where it allowed us to score points on offense.
Are you looking for chances when teams are really hard closing out?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna always attack the rim, and I'm trying to be unguardable where if team's gonna run me off the three-point line, I'm gonna attack the rim every time. So I just whatever the opportunity presents, I just gotta make the right play.
The Rockets hadn't beaten the Hawks for a while. I mean, you weren't here all that time. But did that ever come up before the game or anything?
I do remember that we didn't play well here last year, and you know, we're just a good team. We're trying to win a lot of games. I know it's still early in the season. We're just trying to string on a lot of wins together so we can, you know, get better as a team.
That first quarter when you shot so well, is that what you hope for this season?
Yeah, that's why we're trying to pick it up. You know, we haven't been shooting the three ball that great all year. Once we're shooting the three ball, because we're going to always be an attack team where we're attacking the basket. But when we get threes, when we start making threes, we're going to be really hard to stop.
So as you see, Eric Gordon was pretty poised tonight, speaking on the Houston Rockets' big 119-104 victory against the Atlanta Hawks. He was letting it be known that he will be aggressive and continue to march and go towards the basket if teams want to allow to give him that lane. He's realized that teams may not just sit on the three-point line and allow him to shoot now, so he'll have to become more dimensional, become more of a slasher, and get things done again. Once again, James Harden was the high-scoring man tonight for the Houston Rockets, finishing the game with 29 points, going 8 for 15 from the field, also going 6 for 11 for three-point land. Now, for our Atlanta Hawks, I'm not quite sure what's going wrong and why they can't seem to pick up a win. The Hawks are currently now on a 7-game losing streak with a record of 1-8 after only picking up their win against the Dallas Mavericks early in the season. That was the first game of the season when the Hawks were able to pick up their win. Tonight for our Atlanta Hawks, the leading scorer was Kent Bazemore. Kent Bazemore went 6 for 14 from the field, finishing the game with 18 points, but he was a -14 tonight while being on the court. Also, Taurean Prince and Dennis Schroeder both finished the game tonight with 16 points. Now, Taurean shot pretty well from the field. Taurean Prince he went 7 for 12 tonight, going 2 for 5 from the three-point line with just 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and once again finishing with 16 points. Dennis Schroeder tried to keep up with James Harden throughout the beginning of the game. When Harden would put up a basket, we would see Dennis Schroeder slash into the basket to try to keep his Hawks in the game. But Harden and his Rockets were just able to pick up another big lead. When Dennis Schroeder would hit a layup, James Harden would come down and hit a three-point basket. So they weren't trading baskets because the Houston Rockets were shooting so many three-point shots. Dennis Schroeder finished the game tonight going 6 for 13 from the field, finishing with just 4 assists. I believe Dennis needs to pick up his assists, get his teammates involved a lot more. That will also help the ball flow, help his teammates stay engaged and involved on the defensive side of the ball, because that seems to be where the Hawks are falling off right now. They can get up points, they can score. Taurean Prince has proven that he can score. We've seen Dennis Schroeder prove that he can score, and Marco Bellinelli has proved to be a big signing so far as well, coming off the bench and being a three-point assassin. But we have not been able to see our Hawks pick up another win. So we'll continue to see what they do and how they continue to shift things. Off the bench, a couple cats had a very effective night. Now, Tyler Dorsey, a gentleman, a point guard out of the University of Oregon. This is his first year, his rookie year in the league. This is his first night getting him to see a lot of action. He finished with playing over more than 17 minutes. He finished the night going 3 for 6 with 10 points. Luke Babbitt has also become more aggressive off the bench. He finished the night going 4 for 5, pretty efficient off of the bench with 12 points. And rookie John Collins. John Collins is beginning to show that he's a man in the paint as well. He finished the game going 3 for 7 with 8 points. He finished the game going 3 for 7 with 8 points. Now, as far as the Houston Rockets are concerned, they'll be back in action on Sunday night. They'll be back in action on Sunday night hosting the Utah Jazz. So they'll have a night off before they get back in action. Then they'll have about 3 days off before their TNT matchup next Thursday, the following Thursday, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. As far as the Atlanta Hawks are concerned, things don't get any easier for the Hawks. They'll be looking to get a win, but their next 2 games are against the last 2 participants in the Eastern Conference Finals. On Sunday, they'll be in Cleveland taking on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, a gentleman who we're going to talk about again momentarily. And then Monday, the Hawks will be right back here in action on the second night of a back-to-back, as they'll be taking on former Hawk Al Horford and Kyrie Irving. They've been looking pretty well currently. Now, the Celtics are currently playing right now. We'll have those scores and those highlights for you in a little while. But the Celtics are currently on a 5-game winning streak. So Kyrie has been able to, get things done and prove that maybe he is the leader for this young team out there in the Boston Celtics. So we'll see how things go. But as we said, as we started the show off with today, the big story tonight across the NBA has been LeBron James and his 57-point performance. The big story tonight has been LeBron James and his 57-point performance. All week long, we've been talking about the Cavaliers and their losing streak. The Cavaliers losing to the Magic. The Cavaliers losing to the Nets. The Cavaliers losing to the Pacers. What's wrong with the Cavs? Are the Cavs going to jail? And LeBron's been saying, relax, take it easy. We're gonna be able to get things done. There have been a few lineup changes. We've seen a few injuries take place. Of course, IT4 is not out there yet for the Cavaliers. He probably won't be back until after the All-Star break. We now know that Tristan Thompson is out for at least 4 weeks with a calf strain. He suffered an injury the other night. So LeBron took it upon himself tonight to let it be known that we will not go on a 5-game losing streak, something that has not been done since 2011 when he was a member of the Miami Heat. LeBron once again finished with 57 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks, and a 130-122 win against the Washington Wizards. Following the game, he let it be known that we were not going to lose. He was like Jay-Z tonight. I will not lose. I'm not going to let my team down. I'm not going to let my team lose. We're going to do whatever we must do to get things done. Now we're going to do a quick road trip. We're going to go around the league and see what's going on across the NBA, see some other scores and finals that took place in the NBA. Tonight, the New York Knicks. The Knicks are on a roll right now. They're looking pretty well. The New York Knicks are on a roll right now. They finished tonight with a big win tonight, a home win tonight, as they hosted the Phoenix Suns. The Suns move on to a record of 4-5, while the New York Knicks move on to a record of 4-4. And I got to say, the unicorn is looking like he wants to put his name in that MVP hat. Kristaps Porzingis once again scored over 30 points tonight. This is the 6th time this season that Porzingis has scored more than 30 points. The Knicks picked up a big 120-107 win tonight against the Phoenix Suns. For your Phoenix Suns tonight, it was a big night for Devin Booker. Now, many of you may recognize that name, Devin Booker. Devin Booker, why do I know that name? Last year, Devin Booker actually had a night where he put up 70 points, putting the league on notice, letting it be known that he's a young up-and-coming star and that he's going to be one of the next best things in the league. That's part of the reason why Eric Bledsoe was asking to be traded. So we saw Booker finish the night with 34 points. We also saw rookie Josh Jackson have a big night tonight. He finished the night with 13 points. He's been improving night by night as well. But for the Knicks, Porzingis, he shot 13 for 22 tonight, finishing the game with 37 points. Almost a 40-point performance tonight. Almost a 40-point performance. And it seems like Tim Hardaway Jr. is now answering the call. Tim Hardaway Jr. is beginning to answer the call and answer the bell. Early in the season, cats were wondering, where is Tim Hardaway? He got that big money. He was able to cash out this season. Well, the last few games, he's been dropping big numbers, scoring over 20 points in his last 3 games. Tonight, it was 21 points, going 6 for 15 from the field, finishing with, once again, 21 points. And he's beginning to be a little bit more assertive on the defensive side of the ball. He finished with 3 rebounds, just 2 turnovers, and 3 assists. Enes Kanter is looking pretty well, too, as an offensive weapon. Now, he was traded. He was involved in the Carmelo Anthony trade. He was a former member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The lineup of Kanter and Porzingis, they may be one of the biggest front courts in the NBA. I currently think the Pelicans have the best front court in the NBA with Cousins and Davis. But the Knicks, if they continue to build, they're not too far behind. Tonight, for the Knicks, Kanter finished with 16 points. So he's continuing to be effective out there as well for the New York Knicks. Speaking on the Pelicans were able to pick up a big win, and Boogie Cousins continues to be impressive. Boogie Cousins continues to be impressive. The New Orleans Pelicans moved on to a record of 4-5, beating the Dallas Mavericks, who are just 1-9 right now. The Mavs are 1-9 right now. Tonight, Boogie Cousins finished the game with 20 points and 22 rebounds, a 20-20 night for Boogie Cousins. He's looking good out there. I'm loving what the Pelicans are doing. They're looking like they're going to possibly try to make some noise. I know they recently picked up Josh Smith. He's an ATLian. He was overseas doing his thing for the past few years, but that just expands the talent on New Orleans front court. And when Rajon Rondo gets back in action, they can really be a deadly force. Anthony Davis finished the game tonight with 30 points and 13 rebounds. So you have Boogie Cousins finishing the night with 20 points and 22 rebounds. Anthony Davis finishing the night with 30 points and 13 rebounds. Big night for the 2 big brothers and Big Easy as they helped pick up a big win tonight, 99-94. The San Antonio Spurs also had a big victory tonight at home as they hosted the Dwight Howard, Kemba Walker, and the Charlotte Hornets. The Spurs won that game 108-101. It was a thriller in Mile High City tonight in Denver, Colorado. It was a thriller. The Denver Nuggets moved on to a record of 5-4 as they beat the Miami Heat 95-94. Now, the Nuggets are a team that I want to keep my eye on in the West. I think the acquisition of Paul Millsap was very clutch for them. I think Millsap is a very underrated player. He wasn't able to get things done here in Atlanta, but I think with the team that's surrounding him in Denver, he may have a chance. They also have a young cat that I'm be keeping my eyes on all season by the name of Jamal Murray. He's from Canada. Gentleman kind of had a coming out party last year in the rookie-sophomore game during All-Star Weekend, but he was a force at the University of Kentucky. Great three-point shooter, and he has a great basketball IQ. So I'm interested to see now that they've kind of released the reins on him and they're giving him more action, what he'll be able to do. A thriller right now. We got 5 seconds left in Oklahoma City. 5 seconds left in Oklahoma City right now. The Boston Celtics are currently up 99-94 on the Boston Celtics right now. And actually, after a review, they actually put 2 more seconds back on the clock. The Thunder currently have the ball right now, so it's 7.2 seconds remaining on the clock. The Thunder will be inbounding the ball pretty soon. Kyrie Irving and his Celtics will be looking to expand and have a 6-game winning streak. They currently stand at a record of 6-2, and things look pretty nasty for them though. When the season began on October 17th, as they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, when the devastating injury took place to Gordon Hayward, folks were saying, this may be the end of the Celtics season before it even gets started. But Kyrie Irving has put that team on his back, and he's looking like he's looking to get things done. We'll let you know what goes on in that game when it goes final in the next couple seconds. And then in Los Angeles, currently we have in the third quarter, it's about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and the Los Angeles Lakers are currently beating against D'Angelo Russell, former Laker, who's back home. I'm quite sure he has something that he feels like he needs to prove right now. The Lakers have a 10-point lead in that game, 74-64. Currently, let's see what Cats are doing right now. Lonzo Ball's been catching a lot of scrutiny for his last performance last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. Ball finished with just 2 points. So I want to see if Ball's getting a little bit more aggressive out there tonight for these young Lakers. Right now, we have Brook Lopez. He currently has 19 points for the Los Angeles Lakers. Kyle Kuzma, he got his first time as a starter for the Lakers tonight. He has 17 points. This young man is tearing it up. He might put his name in the hat with Ben Simmons as far as Rookie of the Year is concerned. Right now, he's shooting 7 for 8 from the field. So Kuzma out of Utah, he's looking pretty good out there. And Lonzo Ball, he's doing his thing right now. He's got just 4 points. He's being extremely aggressive. He's just 2 for 12 from the field. So he's shooting the ball, but he's not making it. He has 3 rebounds and 3 assists. We'll continue to see what's going on here in this game. D'Angelo Russell right now, he's putting that rock up as well. He's 8 for 18 right now. He has 17 points. I'm quite sure that he's looking to prove something, that he's looking to prove and let it be known that the Lakers made a bad decision by letting him go and by not keeping him on the team. I'm trying to keep a live looking right now for you, ladies and gentlemen, to let you know exactly what happens in this Oklahoma City Thunder Boston Celtic game. I want to give you a final score on that right there. You know, sometimes as things are going final, it takes forever. I can let you know that the Thunder missed their shot. Now is currently 3 seconds left. The Thunder did not score on their possession, so the score has not changed. It's still 99-94. It's currently a timeout in Oklahoma City. So when things get jumping back in that game, we'll let you know. Tonight, the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, a team that I don't know if they're going to make a lot of noise in the Eastern Conference, but we'll see what they do. They picked up a big win on the road against the Utah Jazz. The Jazz will be the Houston Rockets' next opponent on Sunday evening. DeMar DeRozan had a season-high 37 points tonight for the Toronto Raptors. They had a season-high 37 points tonight for the Toronto Raptors. So that's a big night for DeRozan. Now, he's been saying that he's going to be a little bit more assertive on the offensive side of the ball. And so far this season, he's been putting up the numbers and showing that he wants to get it done. Also a big night for Philly native, my man, I'm going to give a lot of love to Kyle Lowry. He finished the night with 15 points. Kyle finished the night with 15 points and 10 assists. So he was getting it done, distributing the ball. He finished the night with 10 assists. And as far as DeMar DeRozan goes, once again, he shot 10 for 20 from the field. So he was 50% on the night, finishing the game with 37 points. And he also finished the game with 6 assists. He finished the game with 6 assists. And it's about to go final, ladies and gentlemen, in Oklahoma City. The Celtics have just scored again to expand the lead to 101-94 with just 0.7 seconds left. So this game is about to go final out here in Oklahoma City, and it appears that the Boston Celtics will move on to a record of 7-2, while the Oklahoma City Thunder will fall down to a record of 4-4. I haven't been too impressed with Oklahoma so far. I know they're still continuing to gel. They're still continuing to get things together, but I haven't been too impressed with Oklahoma City as far as the season is concerned so far. For the Boston Celtics, Kyrie Irving was very efficient tonight, 25 points, finishing the game with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. The young cat, Jason Jason Tatum out of Duke, he's continuing to get better and better each game. Tonight, he finished the game with 6 rebounds and 13 points. Al Horford, the former Hawk, will be coming back here very soon. He's also stepped his game up this season. He stepped his game up this season on the defensive side of the ball. His offense has already been pretty good, but he stepped things up on the defensive side of the ball. Tonight, he finished with 20 points, going 8 for 10 from the floor and finishing with 8 rebounds. And Jaylen Brown, the kid right from here in Marietta, Georgia, the young cat who just recently celebrated his 20th birthday, he finished with 10 points tonight, but a big 12 rebounds to help get a win for the Celtics. Now, Paul George was the high-scoring man tonight for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He finished the night with 25 points. Carmelo Anthony struggled tonight, making just 3 shots, shooting 17 times. He was 3 for 17 tonight. He was very assertive on the defensive side of the ball, picking up 11 defensive rebounds, finishing the game with 14 rebounds overall. Russell Westbrook, we've seen that he's been flirting with triple-doubles all season long. Tonight, he finished close to a triple-double once again, 19 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds. So Russ continues to be assertive as well, but it just has not resulted into wins for the young Oklahoma City Thunder as they fall once again tonight to the Boston Celtics. So it's a big night across the NBA as we continue to let you know what's going on before we get ready to wrap up today's show. It was a big night in the NBA. Once again, as far as our Atlanta Hawks were concerned, they fall 119-104 to the Houston Rockets. Big night tonight for James Harden, who finishes the night with 29 points. They'll be taking on the Utah Jazz on Sunday. Our Hawks, they got to rebound very quickly. They'll be taking off to go to Cleveland very soon. On Sunday, it'll be an afternoon matchup, 3:30 matinee game, as they'll be taking on LeBron James, who'll be coming off of a 57-point performance. So I'm quite sure returning home, he'll be looking to keep that streak going. So the Hawks need to be prepared and step their game up and be ready to know that King James is going to be in the building ready to play. Then on Monday night, Kyrie Irving, who just picked up a big win against the Oklahoma City Thunder, will be in town. Victors on tonight, the Detroit Pistons beat the Milwaukee Bucks 105-96. The Chicago Bulls picked up a big 105-83 win against the Orlando Magic. The Philadelphia 76ers pick up a 121 win over the a 121-110 win over the Indiana Pacers. Second triple-double of the year for rookie Ben Simmons. He's looking like he's going to make a lot of noise in his career. LeBron James, 57 points in a 130-122 win over John Wall, Bradley Beal, and the Washington Wizards. The Phoenix Suns, they fall short tonight at the Garden, Madison Square Garden in NYC, as Porzingis finishes with 37 points and the Knicks finish with a 120-107 victory against the Suns. The Pelicans, big night tonight for the front court of NO, Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis. They win tonight 99-94 against the Dallas Mavericks. The San Antonio Spurs get back over 500, finishing with a record of 5-4 as they beat Dwight Howard and Kemba Walker tonight 108-101 in Charlotte. Denver once again buzzer beater tonight at home as they beat Dion Waiters and the Miami Heat 95-94. The Toronto Raptors pick up a big win in Salt Lake City as they defeat the Utah Jazz 109-100. It is final right now on OKC. The Boston Celtics pick up a 101-94 win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And things are still rolling at the Staples Center in LA. Things are continuing to roll at the Staples Center in LA. The Lakers are currently 3-5 and they're up 82-69 against the Brooklyn Nets. As far as tomorrow is concerned, there'll be a few games across the NBA that'll be taking place. At 3:30, the Memphis Grizzlies will be taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. That game will be at Staples Center in LA. We'll have the Detroit Pistons hosting the Sacramento Kings tomorrow night. The Kings will be looking for their second win on the year as they're currently 1-7. That game will take place at 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll have the Chicago Bulls, who picked up their second win tonight on the road in Orlando. They'll be back home on their second night of a back-to-back as they'll be taking on Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, who also will be playing their second game in the back-and-back. That game will take place at 8 o'clock tomorrow at the United Center in Chicago. Then the two final games will be the Dallas Mavericks heading on the road to Minnesota to take on the young Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins has looked phenomenal so far this season. He's letting it be known that he was worth every dollar that he received when he signed over the $180 million extension during this offseason. And then the final game will be the Denver Nuggets. They'll be back in action tomorrow night hosting the current champions Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and the Golden State Warriors. We'll have a lot more NBA action here for you on Monday night as Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics come into town. We'll also be talking with Sir Foster. Now, if you've been to a Hawks game, I'm quite sure that you've heard the gentleman playing the keys. He combines the hip-hop world with the orchestra, and it's just amazing. It's beautiful. We're going to talk to him about his journey, how he became a member of the Hawks, playing hip-hop keys in the arenas and more. We're going to talk to him on a special version of Sideline Stories on Monday. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you continue to follow the studio and the station, Live Hip Hop Daily. Have a blessed night. We'll see you Monday.